Hey there, and welcome to the Do Life Big podcast. This podcast is going to be your jam if you want to live to your full potential and don't believe in half-assing anything in your life. If we want to do life big, that means we've got to get out of our own way because we only have this one shot to make it awesome. I'm your host, Kathy, and I'm a mom of three whose BFF is cold brew, a retired school teacher turned online entrepreneur, and an author. I'm loud, bold, and will always keep it real. I'm determined to live my best freaking life possible, and I'm here to help you do the same. I'll be packing this podcast with tips, motivation, inspiration, and strategies to finally get you where you want to go. And we will have a ton of laughter along the way because, let's be honest, we can't ever take ourselves too seriously, right? I'm so excited you are here with me today. Now let's get this party started. Hey, my friend, what is up? And welcome back to another episode of Do Life Big. I am so excited that you are here today. Before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to let you know about my completely free workshop that I'm going to be hosting on October 3rd. It's called Unleash Your Potential. You're going to want to register and get in there because in this workshop, I'm going to teach you my 6-step proven framework for how to rewire your mind for success so that you can get the results that you want in your business, see that consistent income, build the 6 figures and beyond, and do it all while feeling in alignment, having confidence, and having joy. So just go to kathyreutertraining.com/unleash. I will make sure that this is in the show notes, but don't miss it. I only host this workshop a few times a year. So get on in there, and I just can't wait. I'll see you there. All right, so let's dive into today's episode. So today's episode, we're going to be focusing really on building your business and focusing on the doing versus the being and what exactly that means. I'm going to share with you some really important tips here to keep in mind while you're growing your business, especially if you're someone who's kind of on this journey right now where you're trying to get consistent income and you really want it badly, but it just doesn't seem to be happening. You know, like it feels like you're riding this revenue roller coaster where every time it seems like you're making a little bit of progress, it's like you're taking 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and you're working hard and you're doing the things and still things don't seem to be changing. Or maybe you're someone who, you sit down to work and every time that you sit down to work, you're just filled with all of your perfectionism tendencies and procrastination holds you back. And then you start to get in your own head and you start to self-sabotage yourself and you tend to play this game of like, oh, look where she is. And I should have been so much further along than I am by now, but you're not. And a lot of times, this is the mistake that most entrepreneurs make. And listen, I did it too. I fell victim to this trap as well. And I'll share a little bit about that in just a little bit. But your business will only grow to the level of personal growth that you go through. Now, let me just kind of back that up a second here and think about that for a minute. Your business will only grow to the level of which your personal growth grows. Why can't I say this right? I'm going to have to edit all this shit out. So your business will grow to the level of personal growth that you go through. Now, I know a lot of us, we get consumed with like personal development, right? We're doing the personal development. We're listening to audibles. We're listening to podcasts. And we're like, well, I am growing. But the mistake that we make sometimes is that we're really good at consuming. And consuming, taking in all the information. And so while you may be listening to personal development every single day, personal development isn't going to necessarily grow you personally if you're just being a sponge. What I mean by that is if you're just sitting here consuming all the content, being a sponge, absorbing it all in, but then never actually applying what you're learning on a day-to-day basis after you listen to whatever you just listened to, it's not going to do daily squat for you, right? And so it's all about, as you take in this personal development, as you take in this information, what was that one piece that you learned from that one personal development piece that you can now go and take action and apply it to your business in your life so you can start to see a result? And sometimes we get so caught up in just consuming that we don't even take any of the action. And we get wrapped up in just doing. Oh, okay, that was motivating. Like I listened to this. This was motivating to me. This made me feel good. This inspired me. But then we get so wrapped up in just the actions and the doing and the doing and the doing. And we have this belief that if we just work harder on our business, if we just spend more time on our business, if we just, hey, you know what? I'm not going to spend this amount of time with the family right now. I'm going to spend it working on my business because I have to grow it so that I can start seeing consistent income, so that I can prove that I'm worthy of this, so that I can prove that I do have what it takes. And then the income doesn't grow and it doesn't move and nothing's growing in your business. You start to lose that belief in yourself and you start to get the self-doubt and starts to creep in. And what we fail to realize here is that until we take a step back and really look within at what's going on here, what's at the root cause of why my business isn't growing, especially if you're someone who is taking consistent action. And I'll give you a little bit of an example of how this really kind of came back to bite me right in the ass many, many years ago with my first business, when I had built it to a multi-six-figure level. And I got to this level in my business where all of a sudden it just plateaued. The income just stopped growing. And I was working hard on my business still. I was staying up late. I was like, all right, things aren't changing. What do I got to do here? I need to work longer. I'm just going to stay up a little bit later. Like, who cares if I don't get that much sleep, right? Like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. That's what I always used to say. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Just keep showing up, keep doing the thing, pedal to the metal, 10x your PD, consume your mind with this, even go get and hire a business mentor, do all the things that you need to do. And if you just do enough of it for long enough, like obviously the plateau will break for you. And I'm telling you right now, 2+ years, a little over 2 years of literally no growth in income. That was where I was at. Now, what I did not realize was that my mind was not really wired truly for success. And what I mean by this is, and this might be the first time that you're hearing this, is that when we're born, our default settings are not programmed for success and happiness. Like, our mind is not automatically wired for success and happiness. It's not. It's programmed to look for the negatives. It's programmed to look at when things don't work out, make it mean something negative about yourself, make it mean that you're not capable, make it mean that you don't have what it takes, make it mean that, you're not lovable, that, you're not cut out for this, you don't have what it takes, and all of those things. And what I wasn't realizing while I was going through this plateau was that I was making this plateau in my business mean that I wasn't cut out to go as far as I'd hoped to. And I just kept telling myself the same BS stories so that I wouldn't feel too bad about myself. And I'd say things like, you know what? You should just be grateful for how far you've come. You should just be grateful for what this business has already done for you. So many people would kill to be in your position because on paper, looking at this multi-six-figure business, being able to move to our dream home in Florida, be home with the kids forever, and also be a stay-at-home mom and not have to miss the moments, be able to travel, all the things were there. But inside, it was eating me up inside. And I didn't realize that I was attributing this plateau to mean something negative about myself. And that's when I started saying things like, you know what, you probably just aren't going to go as far as you had hoped. This is probably as far as you're going to go. All you ever wanted was a couple $100 a month in this business, and it's far surpassed that. Just be grateful. It is what it is. You just don't have what it takes. And I started to hear that little inner bitch voice, which is what I call it in my program, the Mindset Accelerator, is your little inner bitch voice. I started to hear it for the first time ever whisper into my ear that you're not good enough. And it doesn't matter how hard you work or what you do, you're not going to be good enough to get to where you want to go. And that self-doubt was there, eating away at me. So even though I was showing up and doing all the things in my business, the energy backed behind that was not an exciting, enthusiastic energy that I once had before. It was a scarcity energy. It was a fear-based energy. It was a lack, energy filled with all of my limiting beliefs. And then what I really started to notice was that I started to look back on all these little moments in my life where I did the same kind of thing. And I noticed that I had this pattern. And I had this pattern in my life of whenever things didn't go the way that I had hoped or I had planned, I always made them mean something negative about myself. I looked back and I flashed back to the time when I tried out for the basketball team. And it was a traveling basketball team called AAU back in Massachusetts, where I grew up. And I didn't make the team. And I went home and I cried and cried and cried. And basketball was my life. I mean, it was my most favorite sport. I was great at it. I didn't make the team. And I made that mean in that moment that you're just not that great of a basketball player. And I still remember even, taking the teacher test multiple times over and over again, thinking, I don't know, maybe you're just not smart enough to go on to be a teacher. Why can't you pass this test? I never gave up. I eventually did go on to become a teacher, and I taught for 10 years, but that little voice was there. And I realized that this was a pattern that I had in my life, and that I was literally self-sabotaging my personal growth and growing into the best version of myself and living my best life while having this mindset about failure. And it wasn't until I learned how to rewire my mind for success that I was able to get rid of those old stories, the old limiting beliefs that I had, that old identity, and adopt a new one. And in that moment was when I asked myself the question, do you want to continue going down this path? Because it's not going to change. You have to learn how to rewire your mind for success so that you can get the results. So do you want to keep going down this path, or do you want to actually do something about it? And it wasn't until I had that plateau in my business for that 2+ years where I had that epiphany of, I need to do something about this, and I can do something about this. And a lot of times people go through life and they don't think that they can change their thoughts. They think that they are their beliefs. They think that it's set in stone and they are who they are and they can't change. And that's total bullshit. You can change. But I will tell you this, you are the result of your thoughts. So let that sink in. And 90% of our thoughts are negative, and they're on repeat and recycled from the day prior. And if we're not aware of this and we're not intentional with the thoughts that we're putting into our head, it's going to affect every aspect of our life, not just business, but every aspect of our life. So I was sitting there in this moment when I was at this plateau. And when I had this epiphany, I finally realized, all right, also where I went wrong was in business. So specifically, if you're owning a business, and even if you're not owning a business, this is just in general, nothing has any meaning except for the meaning that you give to it. And the mistake that I made was that every time that I hit a roadblock or failure or income plateau in my business, or even when I looked back at my life and saw all these different other situations in my life where things didn't work out, I didn't make those events and those circumstances neutral. I should have just looked at those events as data, as statistics. What can I learn from this? Instead, I applied negative meaning to those things, and I made it mean that I just didn't have what it took, or I wasn't smart enough, or I'll never go as far as I wanted. And that's the mistake. And that's the mistake that most people make, not only in business, but in life. And until you learn how to rewire your mind for success, all of that will remain there till the day that you die. And I noticed that that was the big difference between people who were running businesses who never kind of really got off the ground running and never had consistent income versus those that were earning 6- and multi-7-figure businesses. Their minds were wired for success. They never looked at failures as failures. They embraced the failures. And I know we all heard that. And trust me, I heard it too. But I didn't understand what it actually meant until I was faced with a failure and a roadblock in my business. And I wasn't able to truly break free from that until I rewired my mind for success. That's what I'm going to be teaching in my free workshop on October 3rd. I'm going to teach you my proven method for how to rewire your mind for success. And that's just the tipping point of it. I really deep dive into how to truly transform your business and life in my Mindset Accelerator program. But it's important to just kind of take note of that. And so one of the things to keep in mind is to focus on the doing versus the being. And what I mean by that is, don't get so wrapped up and consumed in doing. You don't need more content. You don't need to learn more things. You already have everything that you need inside of you. You just need to learn to rewire your mind. That's it. And so something that has helped me as I was going through these roadblocks, and once I overcame it, was to focus on who am I being? And really stop and think and ask yourself, all right, who do I need to be if I want to go and achieve these things in my business? Who do I need to be so that I'll know what I need to do if I want to achieve and build a 6-figure and beyond business? who do I need to be? What do I need to do if I want to build a business that's going to allow me to quit my full-time job and now build my business full-time? And really working from that state of being. And when you do that, it allows you to really kind of take a step back and get clear on the type of person who you need to become in order to achieve those things. And you can even think about another person who has what you want. So take a second and think about somebody else who you know who has what you would love to achieve. And put that person in your mind and ask yourself right now, if this person is a 6-figure, a 7-figure entrepreneur, whoever they are, whatever they're doing, what kind of thoughts does that person think on a day-to-day basis, right? What kind of actions is that person taking every day? Are they just winging it and just, checking off the things off their list to say that they did it? Like, I got to get this done. So, oh, well, this is such a chore. Or are they taking inspired action backed with energy and enthusiasm and confidence in their business every day? How does this person handle failures? How does this person handle rejection? And just taking a step back and asking yourself, who is this person being that is already achieving those things? And operate from that standpoint and reverse engineer it and operate from that standpoint. See if you can operate from a place as if you're already there. Because if you have the desire to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve, that means that you already have it within you to go out and accomplish it. You just need to get out of your own way. And you got to get out of your own way by learning how to rewire your mind. And once you do, anything that you want to achieve in your business or life is possible. And you don't have to worry about other people believing in your dream. And you don't need to worry about if anybody thinks it's stupid or silly, because this dream and this vision was placed on your heart for a reason. That's why it was given to you. Not everyone's going to have the same vision or goals, right? Because this is your life. And so if it was given to you, that means that you are capable and resourceful enough to be able to figure out how to actually bring it into your reality. And so by focusing on, okay, who am I being today, right? Do I wake up and do I sit down to work my business and think like, oh my God, here we go, another day. What the hell do I got to do today? And you're fumbling through all your stuff like, okay, well, I did the actions. Okay, check it, just to check it off the to-do list. Or are you really going at it and approaching your business with confidence and energy? Because I can tell you right now, my energy was shit when I was going through that 2-year period where I was plateaued in my income, because I felt so defeated and so burnt out. And that's what happens when you focus on do. I have to do all the things 24/7. Let's 10x what I'm doing so I can get the results that I want. You're going to burn yourself out, and it doesn't need to be that way. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs, okay, who are wired, where their minds are wired for success, where they're not working that much every day. They have a really balanced life. They're doing the things that they love, and they're doing their business, which they love, and it's not a chore. And so that's the point. That's the thing that can happen when you finally have this awakening where you learn to rewire your mind. You'll actually start to love what you do. You will feel like this is what I'm meant to do. It will bring you energy. It will bring you confidence. It will bring you enthusiasm, and you will feel joy doing what you do every day versus burnt out, defeated, second guessing if you're meant to do this or not, feeling like you look stupid, feeling like you're an imposter, comparing and contrasting yourself all the time to all these other people, constantly self-sabotaging yourself. All of that goes away when you learn how to do that. So the tip that I wanted to give you was, again, to focus on who are you being, right? And really get clear on who you need to be, because it's not about the doing. I've done that. It's not about working hard. And all the people that I've worked with over the years, they're hard workers. But hard work does not mean the amount of money that you want to earn. Hard work does not always equal more income, because otherwise every single hard worker in the world would have all the money in the world that they've ever wanted, right? So it's not that. The root cause is getting to what's up here in your head, right? And you can absolutely do this. So start with that. And what that will do is that will help you get rid of your old identity. And your old identity, for like me, for example, was someone who, all right, when things are going great, things are going great. And my energy is way up high and my energy's here. And yes, there's nothing stopping me. But then as soon as something went wrong, as soon as something didn't go the way that I'd planned, as soon as there was any kind of rejection or roadblock, it was like, damn it, I guess I'm not cut out to go as far as I had hoped. That was my old wiring. All of that is gone. And when I learned to rewire my mind, now I truly embrace when things don't work out. I don't make them mean anything about myself. I look at every single thing now as information for me to learn from. What can I learn from this experience? What is this trying to teach me? And then I take that information and I apply it. And I understand that this is a journey, everyone. This is a journey. It's never ending. When you're on this journey to grow and develop into the best version of yourself, to build the best business, to live your best life, that it's never ending. It's like if you're working on your health and fitness, right? You either have the identity that you're a healthy person or you don't. So I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure to share it with a friend, tag me on social media at Catherine Reuter, and I will see you in my live workshop, Unleash, on October 3rd. I can't wait. Thanks so much for being here. You know I love you, and I think you're awesome. And I will see you the next time. Bye. Thanks so much for listening in. I really appreciate you choosing to spend your time here with me today. You totally rock. Hey, listen, if you loved today's episode, go ahead and tag me on social and go share this with a friend right now. Like, do it immediately before the day gets ahead of you and you totally forget. Couldn't be more pumped to be on this journey with you guys. Go make today awesome, and I will see you the next time.